Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and next to me is child star Robbie Templeton. I mean, Rob from Sketchcraft.
HW Sketchcraft to you, buddy.
Yeah. What a weird day. I just did Star Wars Santa show, and we talked about the themes of The Last Jedi, and it was a good discussion. I feel like we went a little light on Rey, a little bit light on Rey, but at the same time, I think we got all the main stuff. And before we even started the show, Santa was in with this. Mike Porter dad joke of the day. What makes astronauts so popular? Answer, because they're out of this world. All right. I got one for Mike Porter.
Star Wars Santa is the guy who wrote all those stickers that you'd get. You know what I mean? Back in like for the book report with the little stickers and the
popsicle sticks jokes.
Yeah.
What did the bees go as for dress up as for Halloween? Boobies. Yeah, that's right. A little kid told me that once, and I was like, dude, you're fucking pretty rad, dude.
I wish I could be there seeing him formulate when he looks at the ghost, he looks at the bees in the fourth grade, and he's looking, boo, bees.
And it's just like it writes itself.
Yeah, it's like it's the inappropriate version of Sesame Street, right?
Yeah.
They get closer and closer together and they form the word.
And then as luck would have it today, I was looking for something in the garage and I came across this. It's my Celebration 2 badge signed from my Rick McCullum party. When I met him at I ran into him, I didn't meet him, but I met him, ran into him at a really, really nice kind of upscale bar for Indiana, I'd say, in the downtown. One of the only places that had wine. And he was in there, and Julian Glover was in there, and Admiral Piet was in there. They were just hanging out, dude. And I was just like, how's it going, dude? We had some pretty good conversations. At the end, Piet did shake me down, made me buy the autograph, though. Thought we were friends. I mean, I thought the wine I bought you was, I thought the glass of wine I bought you kind of made us friends, but I guess not.
And then you just poured Coke all over Anakin's face, and you guys just, it'd be like in dollar signs. There's your money.
If you see it, this is like the ultimate credit card for that, according to McCall. No, I'm kidding.
Sand gets everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. And then hello there, says Dale. Hello, how's it going, Mr. Dale? So yeah. Interesting day. And I will say on Star Wars Santa's show, he breaks down the news very briefly before he gets to like the theme of the day. And we talked about the strike, and I think I was way too optimistic on his show after I had some time to eat my morning breakfast here and to read a little bit more. But what I am going to throw out there is, what if I'm not? What if this is into the entertainment industry sensationalizing things? I don't know. I really don't. I mean, it could be, though. It could be trying to drag out the story because everybody thought this was going to be a story this week. And now if it's a non-story, but you planned for it to be a story, guess what? Still a story.
Some of my friends in the WAG.
Yeah.
Right? The WGA, sorry. The Writers Guild Association. They were sending me those gifs of James Franco from Buster Skaggs, where he's like getting hanged for the second time, and he goes, first time, So they're pretty used to like this nonsense. I mean, it's tough. It's tough when you want better conditions, and you don't know if the leadership wants what you want.
Yeah,
the leadership just wants to say with the studios, hey, we played ball, we went over, like you don't. It's like when teachers buy his school supplies, but the superintendent's driving the Jag,
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah.
Man,
Tough to say.
this year I had a teacher who really broke down how much that sucks. I went down to the store, bought all these school supplies. Like I went crazy. You have no idea. I went crazy. I was like, I'm gonna take care of this teach. And then they changed all the teachers, and my kid's in a different classroom now. But I guess being nice is being nice. so I'm like, do I do it again? But yeah. So we got a story from the variety nature. Wait, you know what? It was doing some interesting stuff before when there was only one of us. It would put me in this margin here. And I was like, that looks great. I was like, me and Rob are going to be in the margin. We're going to be very marginized. But this doesn't give a shit. Okay. So anyway, so it says many members of the IATSE say they will vote against ratifying a new contract with the major studios because it does not do enough to address working conditions on set. This is Variety. The deal announced Saturday afternoon averts a strike that would have shut down film and TV production nationwide starting on Monday morning. But in interviews and online chatter, many workers have expressed frustration with the terms. They said they expect it would be rejected. See, and this makes it a really hard one to gauge because if you just take 5 people saying anything, The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie of all time, or it's the worst failure of your life. So it's like I don't know how to gauge this right now.
I'm getting friends telling me Dune is the best of all time, the best science fiction movie ever made. I'm like, chill on it, guys.
I can tell you that I was not able to finish it. I got bored.
Yeah,
I got bored.
But you know how people like. I got friends who think Squid Game's the best show ever made. I'm like, I watched some of it. It's fine. It's not the best show ever made.
Nah,
it's
not the best. Not the best.
You know how they get. You know, when you're in a small group of people, right? They'll tell you Super Mario is the best ever. But when I'm hanging out with the Sega guys, oh my gosh, like
yeah, but
Sega dudes.
Yeah, but Mario is the best ever. Anyways, basically nothing has changed, said Ernesto Lamelli, a director of photography based in Los Angeles. I have not heard a single person saying they will vote yes. See, but everybody hates Ernesto. No, I'm kidding. So Ernesto, he's not hearing that. He's hearing no. Everybody's going to say no. A ratification vote will likely not be held for several weeks, as lawyers will have to translate the deal points into contract language. In the meantime, work will proceed as normal on film and TV sets. So that was why I was happy about Mando. I'm like, Mando gets to keep filming. So we did avert the strike happening today, starting today. But there is still this. The tentative agreement provides a 54-hour weekend and a 10-hour turnaround time between shifts for all workers on all productions. Some were hoping for more than 10 hours, as well as other wage and residual provisions that are not in the deal. But they also wanted to make a broader point about conditions on set, which many find to be inhumane and unsustainable. Quote, "We wanted to send a message that things needed to actually change," said Rowan Byers, a dolly grip in the IATSE Local 80. The quote, "The 10-hour turnarounds, that's the same shit that's already in my contract. Why would I be excited about that?" Yeah. So maybe this article does have some legs, you know. The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees represents 60,000 TV and film production workers across the country, including hairstylists, electricians, prop makers, cinematographers, and editors. The union leadership hailed the deal as a landmark agreement on Saturday as they smelled their own farts. Some of the details have not been officially released. Many members contacted Sunday said they would wait for more information before offering an opinion. That right there is telling, though, because if you're waiting for more information because what you have heard isn't enough, then that says a lot too. But others have said that they have been underwhelmed by what they've seen so far. Overall, it's very disheartening, said Theodore Reese, a gaffer in Local 728. I do think it will be rejected. So yeah, and it kind of goes on and with the same stuff. This quote I thought was important. For years, we've normalized and internalized all these abusive situations, said Ann Fader, excuse me, an assistant production accountant in New Orleans. I almost feel like crew members need a strike to let out all this frustration. And yeah, and there was a lot of quotes and stuff floating around, and in this article saying like a lot of us were looking forward to striking in front of the studios, you know, and and maybe that's a good thing to get out some of that frustration before everything is settled. Over the weekend, what we heard was that the tentative deal was for 3 years. So it would be like, okay, we're going to try this route for 3 years, and then we're going to come to a final, resolution. Final solution sounds kind of scary.
Which is horrible for people who don't want to go through it for 3 more days, let alone 3 more years or whatever they're going through. You know?
Yeah.
Like imagine if I'm like, hey man, more COVID for 3 more years. You know what I mean? You're gonna be like,
yeah. Yeah, or if you have small children and you want to see them sometimes, you're like, you know what, I'll miss the next 3 years for of being a productive member of the family. It definitely that Variety article does not make it sound very good. It doesn't make it sound like it is going to be passed on, or it's going to be accepted.
It sounds very similar to the John Deere situation over at John Deere, right? Like they're striking because they got record profits, and there was this weird thing in the 90s where they did a 2-tier system where everyone after October 97 got nothing, and everyone before got what they wanted, right? And so the arbitration was like this. They're like, oh, we'll give you a $2 or $3 raise over the next 3 years. Like that doesn't solve anything,
Yeah,
solves jack shit. So
right. Did I misspell Indiana Jones in the title on this or something just now? No, I'm not sure. I don't know. I might have. I had to do this one really fast. It says Indiana Jones as opposed to his popular cousin Indiana Jones. Yeah, I had a problem. Melon today was pissing me off, for the record. If the title was typed too far in, I couldn't see what it said. I couldn't see what I was typing. I was typing blind, you guys. I was just doing my best trying to make ends meet. But also,
you're like Whistler and Sneakers, just trying to drive the van.
Yeah, well, also we found that whenever we schedule, we have a problem where it tells a hell of a lot less people that we are going live than if we just go live. But when I tried to go live today, just to go live on the fly, I couldn't put a featured image. What the fuck not? Why not? I'm gonna strike. Can we strike but still do the show, or we just like pick it on the show, like until Melon gives us what we want? That is probably
the most American thing you've ever said. I support the strike, but I'm gonna watch Disney Plus and Netflix,
keep on working and talking about Star Wars and stuff that I like.
Going to Disneyland,
stuff that's cool to me.
I mean, you can't. I mean, I support it, but it can't affect my
life. I support it, but I ain't crazy. I ain't going to go that far. But they could get $3 in a couple of years. I want everything now. I'm before 97. Star Wars fan before 97. I want it all.
All those Star Wars fans before 97 get everything, and everyone after gets nothing.
That's your guys' problem. Should have been born before. Back when, I'm pretty sure like how it works is the most worthy souls would fight in some afterlife kind of scenario, and the ones who win get to be born. And you guys were huge losers, and we win. We got here first. That's my perspective.
Boomer? Like my friend, she's pushing 60 something, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, my kids hate me. They say the whole world's my fault. And I'm like, she was a working class boomer, right? Okay. So she never managed to capitalize on any of the benefits of her generation. She's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, hey, I blame you all. But then I just saw a statistic that said that the most unvaccinated generation is mine, the Gen Xers.
Really?
We are the fucking anti-vaxxers, dude. These motherfuckers, that's why the number one killer, the number one death of people between ages 30 and 50 is COVID. right now.
Yeah.
Like it's our generation. So this is, and I'm pretty certain it's our fucking, apathetic, fuck both sides, like that's been our, nothing matters. We kind of know what we're gonna do, it doesn't, who cares? It sounds great in theory. It sounds like you're being a rebel till,
Yeah.
a million people die. And everyone's like, I wonder why anyone going back to work? Because they died. Like if it says 700,000, double it. They never tell you the truth. And if you're
Yeah.
wondering where 100,000 people went, they died.
Yeah,
That's
well,
it.
I mean, early on in the pandemic, when we had governors purposely misreporting and stuff, it was pretty evident that the numbers were off about 200 to 300 to maybe even 400,000 at one point. And when they show numbers today, I don't know if those ever corrected, if they ever.
I was in the
fixed
army
that.
during the genocide of Kosovo, between the Serbs and all them cats, and the numbers were grossly understated.
Mhm.
Grossly understated. So like this, and I'm certain if you kind of look back at Vietnam and the
Yeah,
atrocities that our government, go watch Full Metal Jacket. It's uncomfortable,
yeah,
but like, do you think they were counting all the people and the guy in the helicopter, so yeah, I know it's ridiculous, but I know it's a bummer, but like,
yeah.
we're just in this clash of like, was it like, is it Key's law or something? It's like an unsustainable situation will go for as long as it needs to,
Oh,
kind of
really?
thing. Like, yeah, there's like an actual, there's a law for everything, right?
Yeah.
But like most laws that matter, they're not enforced. But like that's where you have these companies, like they will continue an unsustainable situation for as long as, even beyond the point, because it's really in the best interest of that situation to do that corporation to do so, so
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. The world is crazy and messed up, and it is sometimes, I'll be honest, it does feel a little bit weird obsessing about a Hollywood strike. Not that I don't support it, not that it's not important, because all of it is, but it is kind of weird to see what we got going on right now with, I mean, I'm having to fight with parents at my kid's school because they got parents who won't wear a mask and want to walk around my kid, and I want to punch them in the face.
Gen
I have
Xers.
I have this thing where I want to punch people in the face when they do that, you know? And yeah, but I'm okay with being the difficult father when I'm right.
I got some friends who try to peer pressure me into seeing movies now. That's their thing. Oh,
Mhm.
you're not gonna see it? I'm like, no. Oh, I'm here. Good for you. I got
Yeah,
a 15% infection rate right outside my fucking door. You know what I mean? And no hospital beds available. I'm gonna stay home.
yeah.
Sorry, I guess I'm the party pooper. Like whatever.
And yeah, and to I mean, and to like some extent, these things, they like do overlap. Like COVID is as big a part of this story as anything else too, because as they rush to get things back into production, they really started working people really hard again, and they exacerbated them to such an extent that we got to the point where they were like, let's strike, we are over, you know what I mean, we are over this. And so you do have all of this stuff, and it is an unsustainable situation, as was it Key's law or whatever you said it was.
I'll dig it
But
up. Yeah, I'm not Ben Shapiro. I don't have. Sorry, Dave Rubin. I don't have all the fucking answers, right? But like, but yeah, I was reading it this morning. There's these two laws, like of economics, kind of like barreling against one another, especially in like the John Deere situation. But I was looking at it. And this looks like the fucking Netflix, Hulu, the internet content, the giant ramp up,
mhm,
and also it's coming from companies that are just used to getting whatever they want, regardless of whatever happens, like,
yeah,
oh well. So this yeah, man, I mean, like anyone else, I want to earn a living. You know what I mean? Like we all want to earn a living. We not all of us get to be born to intergenerational McDuck wealth here. So like we gotta go out there and get it, but we are further and further away in this country from being in a place where if the idea that if you start down here, you can get up there, that is becoming exponentially impossible to do. not
Yeah.
by generation at this point, by year, if not by every quarter.
Mhm.
You know, and so then you have all these weird, and so I is this an anthropological issue or an economical issue or somewhere in between? Like, I'd love to talk to some smart people about like the ramifications, the unintended consequences of when you have this situation, and then people try to find something to make up for it. Like they invent crypto that ends up creating more problems. You know, like they end up inventing a bunch of gig economies that everyone starts using the post office, which creates another fucking bottleneck, right? And then you got like there's all these like systems that are like,
Yeah.
you know what? You remember in the Matrix 2? There was a scene I remember where like Neo, not the best movies, but there's a scene where Neo's looking at all the machines, right? He's out in Zion.
Mhm.
And the guy who's running Zion tells him something like, "Yeah, we don't know what these do. Like they keep us alive. They're running, but we don't really know how, you know, and if they break, we couldn't possibly fix them, you know."
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like there's a great bit of that going on right now. Like this, everything's running, but we don't know. And then things have broken and we don't know how to fix them. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
were kind of already in place before we got here, and now they're breaking down, and it's like, what now? You know? Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, we do. I mean, is my understanding of things is is that you pretty much have to have lots of growth, but you also need to have moments where you don't. And those moments where you don't, they suck, but they're actually good in the long run. But we don't live in the long run very often. In our current world, everything's like about now, and it kind of sucks because like the people in Hollywood, if they were to go and really make the lives better for these workers, they would be really loved by a lot of those people. And maybe, I don't know if they would make history books, but it would end up mattering. But what I feel like is like there's like this imagined audience, and the imagined audience of those workers, that's not who they think about. They think about their buddies from the business school that they came from, and about the high fives they're going to get for being the shrewdest, most big assholes in the world about that stuff, what they got through. And boy, that has a lot, I think, a lot to do with boomers who in the 80s were young, really took that Gordon Gekko shit to heart, and then now they're really controlling things, and that's where we're
it
at. But it's gonna
it
that is gonna shift back, I think.
it disturbs me to no end when I
Mhm.
see YouTubers that I enjoy listening to say shit like greed is good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, no, it isn't. You know what I mean? No, no, it really isn't. And if you feel that way, just marry someone who's more greedier than you and see what happens to your finances.
Yeah.
See
Oh,
what happens to your life. You know? See what
um,
happens, you know, when even in a situation where it's not like someone taking what you got. Like remember when Ryan Reynolds was married to Scarlett Johansson and then she started making more money than him? What
mm.
happened? Their whole fucking relationship breaks up, right? Like this sort of thing. It greed in the pursuit of greed isn't good. So
Boobies,
we all
boobies, Brian.
we look,
Sorry.
Ryan Reynolds starting in Boobies, right? The Halloween sequel to Jerry Seinfeld's B movie would be
Yeah.
amazing. Where's DreamWorks animation? That's something Katzenberg would greenlight. You know,
Right.
I was born to make shitty stuff. Like,
You know what? Let's let Kramer do it. No. Anyways, Eric says Gen Xers grew up believing Jenny McCarthy anti-vax bullshit. My sister is one. She's not religious or an insurrectionist. Yeah, something interesting that's happened over the last year is a couple of friends who were sick for a time. Like one had a tumor and stuff like that, and changed their eating habits and their diets and stuff like that, and then got better. Where they went through their treatment and changed the stuff and got better and became real like big health nuts. Didn't really have everything was just reactionary to whatever the mainstream thing was. If Frosted Flakes is what they told you to eat, then Frosted Flakes made your dick leak.
It's no different than when someone finds religion and they give up all drugs and abuse, right? And somehow it fixed their life, and now they're determined to create a giant church state for everyone to live under.
yeah, but these people are just like how Eric is saying. They're not actually political. They're not insurrectionist, but they literally do not trust anything that goes in their bodies that somebody didn't give them a contrarian point about.
Yeah, my cousin has MS and she pulled this shit on me. I had to like explain to her, well, I think, and I'm like, I don't care what you think. Here's the data. I beliefs, and this is manifest. It's this manifest generation. The group of people, and this exists outside of age and your typical. I'm not saying Zennials or Millennials or Gen Xers or Boomers are manifestors. I'm saying they're all in there. Yeah. It's this group of people that just believe that if they believe enough, that will do it. And it doesn't help, mind you, when you go to Disneyland, her favorite place in the world, by the way, and they're blaring some chick in this voice goes, just believe anything you want and it will come true. I'm like, then why are your employees sleeping in their fucking car down the street? Like, you know what I mean? Like, stop it with this. Like,
I can tell you why. I can tell you why. They don't believe enough. If they believed more.
See, you sound like church, right?
If they believe
you gotta plant
more,
seeds, son.
And I think the problem might be with you. Maybe you shouldn't be sleeping in your car.
Most definitely,
maybe
I am
you should
the problem.
Maybe you should try sleeping in your house.
I did sleep in my. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sleep in your house next time.
I have friends too, but who were with me in college who remember seeing me sleep in my car because I couldn't afford to drive to my apartment, right? And because of gas. And they're like, "Well, you don't now, so you made it. I mean, capitalism works." I'm like, "No, that's not, guys. This is not the lesson you should be taking."
Yeah,
like Jesus, I don't know. Anyway, I just think all of these are connected. They're all connected, in a way, not in a grand universal theory of connection, right? Like it's all connected, man. Like I'm Charlie Day on a wall, right? I heard that crazy.
But that Star Wars is the opium of the masses.
But I do believe that, this is a belief, so I have no data, right? That the belief, based on the things I've seen and read and whatever, is that it feels like, you can't see a black hole, but you see the effects of one, right? That these are all effects around this giant black hole that's that it's there and it's just sucking us all in there, and
you're making me hard right now.
That is my goal, right? Like every episode.
Really?
I've been keeping count, and this is the first time, but I knew I'd get there. 3 months, I knew I'd get there.
You said to say gaping black hole.
Like my coffee.
Speaking of, there's this on just to make a radical left turn. I messaged it to you over the weekend. There's this book called Skinwalkers and the Pentagon. It's like this UFO book. Yeah. And what is amazing about it is in the little asterisk, little appendices, whatever, there's this thing, and it talks about how they are studying alien biological tissue and materials in El Segundo. And I was like, what? So, and this book, I don't know what's true in it or what's not, what's accurate, whatever. This book has more credibility than the vast majority of books that you'll read on the subject based on who's in it and the sources that are in it, right? So at least they believe it to be the case. And but I go look it up. I literally the Mandalorian films and where they are doing that are they neighbors. That's all I could say. It is very, very close.
Wouldn't it be funny, right where they're shooting a little green Yoda? Like there's little green dudes, like just
little green dudes,
3 blocks, like right.
They're like dissecting some little Grogu buttocks in one of those places or something.
It's just a butt with ears. I love it.
Yeah, so I need when I go down there, I need to stop listening for Star Wars stuff. I need to start listening for all kinds of other stuff. Apparently,
What was it I texted back to you? From black holes to assholes. Right?
yeah,
This is making universes. Batman, right?
yeah, yeah. That was wild. All right. So what else we got? Okay. So there's actual things that happened. We're half hour in the show. So there was a big shakeup, and so Doctor Strange is moved from March of 2022 to May. To like that kind of change. That kind of change is fine. That's okay.
Well, this was
Thor. Yeah.
So this I'll let you finish all of it. All right.
No. Yeah. Thor going from May to June. Oh, that's cool. That's fine. Black Panther is going from July to November. Oh well, that sucks, but that's cool. That's fine. Indiana Jones is going from July of 2022 to June of 2023. It's basically going a whole year out. We're getting pushed a whole another year. That sucks, donkey dick. That is.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, people said they wanted less blockbuster films a year, so
Oh, those 5 people said that, and they just sound really loud on Twitter. Nobody wants
but
that.
they all agreed and liked the tweet, while
Yeah.
they complain about not getting enough content. So
Yeah, they were pretty. Frank Marshall retweeted one of the articles, and I read that one, and they made the very good point, and that this has to do with the production being difficult.
he's like, I keep wearing this Blue Lives Matter hat, and we get sabotage on set. First they hurt Harrison,
I thought the cops were going to beat up the locals and let us do whatever we wanted, but it turns out not so much. But yeah. So, but we were going off about this about, I don't know, a few weeks ago when the COVID stuff was hitting at Pinewood. We were hearing that they were basically furloughing Pinewood employees, and that was slowing stuff down on that end. And we thought at that moment, based off of what we were hearing, that production was stopping right then. But then we looked around, and they were going all over where they were supposed to be going, to Morocco and all that jazz. Italy and Morocco, they were still doing that stuff. So I thought, well, maybe there's a chance they're going to be able to make it happen. I mean, there's a couple of things that could have went down too, that they may not have been able to get everything that they needed without Harrison Ford there. They might have to go back to those places and rebuild those sets.
You think when George sees this stuff, he goes, "They pushed it back a year. Holy shit!" I could never have pushed back a year.
Holy shnikes!
What they get Kurtz to run this?
What happened was at Gary Kurtz's funeral, they dared her to snort his ashes, and she did.
Oh no!
And then she took over, and now Kurtz is controlling her, and they're it's going to be a new movie, though. It's going to be a new movie.
Look, there is a very special place for a horror film we could do where there is a George Lucas type megalomaniac, and someone snorts his ashes and then gets inhabited by the there's a very hot, like Swimming with the Sharks meets Body Snatch. I don't know.
Well, no, we're gonna go. We're gonna go with the original title of the other movie, Kurt's So Good. And it's like Kathleen Kennedy was just your run of the mill successful Hollywood producer until one day, and it shows her like waking up, and she's like putting some water on her face. She puts her hands down, and she has the chin beard. She's like, I have the pussy eating beard.
I want to see what was that movie with Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage where they traded?
Vice versa,
right?
Yeah.
Like I want that, but it's Kathleen Kennedy and like one of these right-wing and fandom menace dudes, right? No! And they both get stuck in hells they don't want to be in.
Oh,
they learn no lessons. They just get stuck in hell for about 2 hours.
Kathleen Kennedy now has to finish Ethan Van Sciver's books. She can't draw.
Neither can he. Never mind.
And he can't produce. What's gonna happen?
Yeah. Like there, you know what I mean? Like that would be an interesting remake.
Yeah.
We'll call it both sides.
And then both sides. A Star Wars story. Okay. Yeah. It's so dumb.
God, sometimes I impress myself.
Yeah.
All right. Enough praising of the Rob.
All right. All right. Let me close this old tab out because it annoys me. Okay. So yeah. So we got some Indiana Jones coming someday when your children have grown up, and my children are adorable. I just wanted to point that out that I have the coolest Star Wars kids of all time. Because I mean, look at that guy, little Poe Dameron. Just saying.
No.
All right. So yeah, Indiana Jones 5 News posted some pretty cool jazz here. And I guess this is the filming in Morocco. So right there, we are getting some of that Casablanca looking vibes.
yeah.
I think
Almost
that's what I'm
looks like
saying.
Galaxy's Edge. Oh, wait. Did they
Yeah.
culturally appropriate?
Oh, Galaxy's Edge. I am boycotting you. I'm not going there. No. Okay. Hey.
You and Steven tonight.
Stephen DeKnight. All right. And then right here, clearly this means Indiana Jones goes to the future. Because look at his car. Look at his future car. Oh, it doesn't
Clever
mean that.
girl.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. We got
They're not pooping,
couple
they're not
of
real.
couple of jackasses. It's me and Rob right here on the set of Indiana Jones.
We snuck in.
Yeah, there we go.
We burrowed our way on set.
But look at the little tiny car. I love it.
It's Cars 3.
Cars 3.
Good.
Yeah, and look right here. Look at him. Yeah, I want to see Indiana Jones try to get into this little thing right here. This little motorcycle.
It would
Everything's
be
so
like
little.
a minecart ride down the streets of Italy.
It turns out the top brass at Disney was like, everything's little. We like Hummers here at Disney. Can we get can we get the same thing but with bigger cars?
Remember when Conan would do that bit where the mouths speak, right? It's like pictures of celebrities with the mouths, and they'd have Arnold, right? Arnold.
Oh,
and one day
you said Conan. I was thinking of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I was like, whoa.
The other Conan, like that. Remember they would do that.
Conan. Yeah.
I'm Conan. You know, so but one day the little Hummer Power Wheels comes in with the TV set, like shoved in its Arnold's face, and he just drives on set. I'm on set. Like I'm like that is the only way I want Arnold Schwarzenegger from now on.
I'm curious if they're going to be like forthcoming about the Indy delay and what it means and stuff. And was it delayed because of this inevitable strike? Like, did they have anything to do with them just going like, you know what, everything's going to get pushed back. We can't deal with it anymore. Let's just be real and move a year later.
It's been my wonder. Is this a COVID issue? Is this the injuries issue? Is this they know the strike's going to happen later than sooner, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So they're just spreading out the dates, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think I definitely think it's been kind of a perfect storm for them of difficulties. And will it affect the movie or not? I mean, is a big question, and I hope not. I hope the movie is still good.
My real fear is I hope it doesn't happen, but if something happened, if Harrison passed away after they were done filming and it comes out after, right? Like,
no, right.
So like that's been my like sooner's a little better than later on this one, guys.
Yeah, I think he doesn't have any. I don't think that'll happen there. I mean, thankfully, he seems to be pretty. I think the guy's gonna live to be 100. I do. At least I hope so. But yeah, I mean, but he doesn't seem to get winded and stuff like that. Some people were talking to me about it a few weeks ago about how when Ford works, though, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but when he works, he has the energy to keep going. He doesn't get winded how people in their 30s and 40s do. And so the guy, but once again, could be one of those things where he works himself to death as well. You know, I mean,
hard at like the plenty of athletes, who die of heart attacks because they just work their hearts too much. This was
Yeah.
actually a problem. I was reading one of those weird articles they put up where it's like a bunch of photos of dudes from like Russia and the UK were really working out in the 20s. They're like all
Right.
flexing and they're doing the kettlebells when they invented that shit. And they were saying that all these guys died in their 30s because they worked out too hard. like they were all trying to bro one another, and then their heart just wasn't. They probably just did it too fast. But think about all those pro wrestlers. So cocaine probably had something to do with it too. But like let's pretend
Yeah.
cocaine and steroids weren't a factor.
Yeah.
Then,
Santa says that Kathleen Kennedy's contract extended. Is that like official? I'm trying to look it up to see if it was an official story
No.
today, or
No.
if he's
No.
just saying. Yeah,
No.
because like I said, like that was big around August of this year. I think it was, and
Watch all the
but-
fans just peel their face off like poltergeist.
yeah, all of that stuff happened like a long time ago. I wonder if this is going to if the Indiana Jones delay is going to get like morphed into another Kathleen Kennedy failure. She didn't solve COVID, and she didn't make Harrison Ford have an immortal shoulder.
She
Okay,
can't keep her
it
own
was a
husband
joke.
from wearing fucking bullshit hats. Like, what are you? Stop putting the world on the shoulders of one woman. I think
Was it even that hat? We don't even know if it was the hat. We weren't sure, or we weren't even sure that was him.
I'm assuming everything these days. All right, so like
Fair enough.
allegedly. So
We are asses, so we get to assume.
do I report news? Like I get my news from you. That's not good.
Oh.
So like
They're getting their news from you, so it's kind of your fault now.
I think what's really funny is watching DC fans talk shit. And I'm like, guys, Warner's is about to push all. If Warner's pushes all their shit back too, right?
Yeah.
Then it's the strike. Like
Batman
again, or
had COVID,
or they just
so-
want a bigger return. They're seeing the returns and they're going,
Oh.
"Hey, our film's making 300 million when they could make 700 million or $1 billion is not a good return." So they're pushing further. That's my other belief
Supposedly
on it.
Disney was upfront about that with Indiana Jones, saying that is not the case here. It was about for them. It was about the production delays that keep plaguing them. So, but at the same time, how is that if we expect a better future, if we hope for one, if we hope that 2023 is better than 2021, how would it not be better? You know what I'm saying? Like
Careful.
yeah. No, I know. No,
what could
I'm
possibly go wrong.
Oh yeah, no. I mean the quadrangle variant or some bullshit will pop up, and we'll be back at square one. But if things do get better, I mean, it makes sense to me that you would want 2023 over 2022. Like if you're investing in this thing and you're going to put it out, you're going to make a hell of a lot more money in 2023 if things get better. And children are vaccinated by then and stuff like that. Like once children get vaccinated, we don't know exactly how that's going to change things. It may make things a lot better though.
I do believe it has to do with shooting around the world.
Yeah.
Like I believe that's probably 80% of it. Avatar 2 is supposed to ship in December 2022 as well. So if you think once you start shoving things down, you don't want to cannibalize your own release schedule. So there's other Disney films. Shocking, they don't just make Marvel and Lucasfilm flicks over at Disney. So there's a bunch of other things that I didn't think Doctor Strange and Batman in the same month, even without the pandemic, was a good idea.
Yeah.
Like for anybody, it doesn't help Batman sales, doesn't help Doctor Strange sales. They sort of like feed off. It's the same fan base who does. They make their money on repeat viewings. So if you're like, oh, that's a $40 visit to see you have no kids, and it's just you and a girlfriend or your wife or your significant other, and you're like, that's $40 plus if I get a snack or a drink, maybe that's $50 times 2. That's $100 that month I spent on movies. Well, I saw them each once, and out of that $100, they saw what 50 of it, because the other 50 went to the theater and everything else. So yeah, it's just it's not. This is why when you have a Batman coming out, you want like a a Hugh Jackman, Meg Ryan comedy,
Yeah.
Leopold and Kate, like right next to it, because those audiences aren't feeding off one another, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There was I think, what do they call that, spillover or whatever? So people are just like going on a date, and they're like, they don't care, what they see. They just want to go out.
Which,
And
by the
when
way,
uh-huh.
speaking of dates, just before I derail you, when I
Yeah.
was making my coffee this morning, I went to go get something. For some reason, I just had that picture of a snake biting me in the face,
Uh-huh.
just based off some stuff we've talked about before. And I was just
Yeah.
like, psh, psh, wah, ah, oh, 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 oh. Damn
Poison
you, Jason.
dates. Yeah. What was I gonna? I don't remember what I was gonna say
Spill
now.
over.
You derailed me. Spill over.
I know,
Yeah.
that's what I do.
No. There were movies back, like I remember, like during like Phantom Menace and stuff, that were like being released at that time specifically for that reason, for the people who like wouldn't, just don't give a shit about that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
just want to go see a movie. But when they release, like, if Batman and Doctor Strange, for instance, came out in the same week, it totally, like, as with me and two kids, that completely makes it where one is going to win, and it doesn't even mean it's the best one. It's just gonna be the one that the kid who is the most pushy is going to.
Probably, yeah. And if there's 5 or 6, seeing an almost R-rated Batman film is probably not. I mean, I remember I was watching the probably not the best bet. I'll finish my sentences, but
Yeah.
I was watching some of that VHS recordings of. Remember they used to drag kids out after Batman Returns onto like Donahue and Oprah and Sally Jesse Raphael. And they'd go and tell
Catwoman
them-
gave me a boner, and I feel so evil right now.
like when they drag their kids out in MAGA hats these days, they drag this kid out and they're all like, and it was so dark, and McDonald's is selling this as a kids, and it's not for kids, it's too dark. And I'm like, it's comical compared to what this fucking trailer is. Like, Batman Returns is a goddamn Chuck E. Cheese show compared to this, like,
Yeah.
like it's so hilarious, like how that you laugh when you look at it now. I'm like, what do you think they're gonna look at now? All the shit you're complaining about today, all the fucking, whether it's snowflake, canceled, whatever it is.
That's how we got here. Is them turning that kind of stuff into a joke made all of it a joke.
Right.
And I'm not saying we should or shouldn't be here, but look at how far it slid because they were dishonest. You know what I
They were
mean?
dishonest. And now we got literally this could have been the trailer for the new Batman film. Basically, it's like what if David Fincher made the sequel to Batman Begins? Like I'm like, this looks like Batman Begins through the eyes of David Fincher and a better DP than Wally Pfister on that first film, but it's what it looks like. And so it's like, it's way darker. I'm just like, do you really think 6-year-old people are going to take their kids? I mean, someone will. Like when I went and saw Deadpool with my buddy, this whole family came in Deadpool outfit, and a little girl came in with a unicorn stuffed animal. And if you know what happens to unicorn stuffed animals in that film, the whole time I'm looking back at that kid.
Yeah. Watch out.
What are you doing? I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to see RoboCop, and my dad was cool with it, but I don't know if that's the best parental decision.
My take with parenting usually is like, if it's not, like, for instance, Green Knight, acted fast on that one. I took my kid to see Green Knight, and there's a moment when it shows semen. Oh, great. Thankfully, he wasn't looking at that specific moment, because the kiss, the kissing kind of stuff kind of like grossed him out, and then he like kind of like turns, and then I'm like, okay, don't look, and I got that one, and like that right there, that's a big line for me right there. Like that, I would no, you can't see that. But
in a way,
I also
so
think
is the opening to Ghostbusters when they go into the library. It's all covered in basically ghost spaz. Like,
yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Well, no, but that's also like there's like certain like in that movie, Ray gets a ghost blowjob.
Yeah.
Right. And like it doesn't,
totally unnecessary to the film too.
It doesn't need to be there. It was just simply that Dan Aykroyd really wanted a ghost blowjob at some point, and he's like, I'm gonna make it happen. But but it's like, as a kid, I didn't really I didn't necessarily get it. I got it. I got some sexy stuff was going on, but I didn't really get it necessarily.
Oh, I got
And
it.
you got it, yeah.
I was like,
no. Upon release, that sounds bad too. But upon release, I didn't get it. And then by the time it hit video, I got it. But
I went with my teenage babysitter, really cute chick, to the theater. We went to see it. It was when my mom and her boyfriend's daughter went to go see Purple Rain.
yeah.
I was like, please don't make me sit through this. Like, I like Prince, but I can't sit through MTV for 2 hours. Like, that was just my take on that. And so Ghostbusters was there, and I was like, I want to go see that. And so she took me to that. And I remember looking at that scene and looking at her. She gave me the smile. Like, I was like, yeah. I do so love this film.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I remember as a kid, this is a weird story. Prince had a single. It might have been Purple Rain. I'm not sure what single it was, but it had a B-side, I think, was Cherry Pie or whatever.
Yeah.
And my mom's boyfriend, a biker, like I talked about the other day, his daughter is like, this song just makes me want to do something. She's like, how about we take off our clothes and get in my bed and listen to this song? And I'm like, okay. Yeah. Thanks, Prince. So when everybody ever asked me,
Gabba didn't give kids that feeling. You know?
No, Prince though. Prince did. Yeah. So yeah, but so anyways, when it comes to like movies and stuff like that, like like it's kind of crazy when you think about like boobs. We opened the show with boobies, and like boobs, as like a 12-year-old, if just saying the word boobs would do something to me. And now today, I could probably go to a topless beach and I would probably be on my phone. You know what I mean? I like them, but they don't. I'm a bit.
You're hitting Al Bundy age. That's why.
Now
you understand the plight of Al Bundy, where he hits that age where he's like, eh.
I mean, there's all kinds of other stuff I like. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
but it's like, you know, but point is like I kind of think like maybe you make things sexier than they need to be, like stuff that it's just like really probably normal if we were living on like islands, just chilling, drinking out of coconuts, like Gilligan when Ginger. Because if you think Gilligan gave a shit about Ginger by the end of that thing, he didn't give a fuck. He was over it.
And Mary Ann's the deal. And she knows how to have fun. But yeah, well, I mean, getting back to that Batman trailer, it's just like I was watching, man. I'm like, look, this is exciting, but like at the same time, it's gonna be another 4 fucking years before they come up with a sequel for this thing. Like that's the pace that Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves has always talked about this. He's been interviewed a couple of times on the Jeff Goldsmith Q&A. Mm-hmm. It's at the film school in LA, the Elephant Film School, across from the Jack in the Box, right? Yeah, right there. And I used to go, and so whenever the Apes films came out and Do the Right Thing, or not Do the Right Thing,
Do the Right Thing,
Let the Right One In. Sorry, the remake,
vampire one. Yeah,
the vampire. I would like Do the Right Thing with vampires. That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. So don't drink the blood. I'm gonna do the right thing.
And I want Rosie Perez back, but but he would talk about how he just takes his sweet ass time, even on the sequel to Apes, right? Like War of the Apes, he took his sweet ass time and doesn't care what the studio thinks, and I'm certain he got that in his contract. So it's like this movie's coming out, and if it comes out in March, the sequel comes out, let's say 3 years. Let's be kind and say 3 years. They're not going to do it 2 years. There's no way. So 3 years, that's 2025 before you get a follow-up to whatever you're seeing in March. Yeah. Like even at Disney's reduced schedule for Marvel, that's 9 more Marvel films plus 12 more Marvel series of stuff that's all interconnected before I get back to what Batman's up to. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe they say they're going to do that Gotham show, you know, that kind of like, I think is supposed to fill the gaps on this. But as we've all learned, when you don't put lightsabers in a Star Wars movie, you risk a lot of trouble. When you don't put Batman in a Batman world, you're playing with fire. Like us geeks who are like, yeah, man, I would like it. Ain't the mass audiences, you know? No. The mass audience is like, why ain't Batman in this shit? Like, fuck.
I honestly feel like I'm excited for that new Batman movie, But in reality, the best way to take Batman beyond where it's ever been before in a better, deeper way is literally just to make Batman into a series, like with Batman, not with Batman's cousin or Catwoman or Robin or any of that bullshit. Just like
Not what your
actual Batman.
CW goofy TV
No.
writers, like the legit Boardwalk Empire fucking treatment.
Yeah.
They and it's weird because, you know, I watched the whole fandom straight through. It kind of
How was it?
A complete waste of 3 hours.
Okay.
It could have easily been a 30 to 45-minute event.
Mhm.
Right? It is so weird that Warner Brothers put some DC's new Warner Brothers. Okay, whatever. DirecTV, who the fuck owns it now? Puts together this thing that it should be called Film Dome, because other than like they briefly flash between fan pics that were submitted, there's no interviews with artists on the books.
Any
no interviews.
Any Batman eating pussy kind of pictures or anything like that?
Yeah, I wish. You know, it'd be great if they put in one little, you know, like a quick frame. Like if they're gonna do Fincher, you may as well, you know, do a little bit of that Fight Club.
I believe the term Fincher is when you put a Batman cowl on and you eat the booty. I think that's actually called the Fincher.
It's a dirty Fincher.
I could be a dirty Fincher. I think you're right.
It's the opposite of a Kurtzbeard beard, right? Like the Kurtzbeard, you want the protection here,
but you don't want this.
But you want to protect.
You don't want this. You want this soft. You want this masculine.
But what I was trying to say was, it's weird that you got a Flash film that's going to feature multiple Batmans from multiple universes, and a Batman film that's going to feature one Batman that vaguely reminds you of all these other Batmans you've seen. Like you would think if you're going to reboot Batman, put like 4 Batmans in it. Mm-hmm. Have there be a multiverse in the first one. You know what I mean? And
Batman.
Like seriously, like you may as well, because I have a weird feeling, man, the way the development works on these films in the way that it does traditionally. So there's one department on each film, like one crew, like an art department, pre-production, whatever. At Marvel, they have a centralized art department, like Lucasfilm was, where it's more in the Lucas format, where in Pixar and animation, where they're developing way before there's even a script. You know, like they're developing visually for years on out. So I have a funny feeling with the way Matt Reeves works that you're going to see more of Michael Keaton as Batman than you're going to see of Robert Pattinson Batman in the next 4 years. Like that is what's in. Hey, by the way, the Flash trailer is all Michael Keaton talking. No one's mentioned that. Like it's all Michael Keaton speaking as Bruce Wayne and Batman again, and nobody. I'm like, this is fucking. I never thought I'd see that again, like or hear it. You know, like that. This. So I'm more excited for that than this. But all my friends like, hey, you don't like it? I like it. It's just hard when we got a whole Star Wars trilogy before we got a new Batman film. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From the time they started a new solo Batman film around 2015 with Ben Affleck till now, we got a whole Star Wars trilogy.
Well,
They're
it's
moving
like
so incredibly slow. I don't understand it.
yeah. Well, no, that's like my gripe with superhero films in the big picture was like, if they just give me a really good Batman movie that by itself is a good Batman movie, I don't have to worry about what at the end, what it teases, what's next. I just get to enjoy that Batman movie. It doesn't matter. Like Batman 89 comes out, I can wait 4 years for another Batman movie with Batman 89 for what it did for me. But when the way that it goes now, it's like everything is about interconnectivity, and
I don't want to wait 10 years for them to get to Clayface.
Yeah.
So here's the problem we have. We have a problem where they only put up the characters you know because it makes so few of them. So you can't get to the fucking other characters you'd like to see, like a real fucking Mr. Freeze story that ain't fucking Arnold. That's more like Heart of Ice from the anime. You can't get to that because if there was only one Batman animated series cartoon every 4 years, like literally one episode, it would have been Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, Riddler. You never would have got all the other fucking shit, you know? So that's the problem that we're in, is because of and they're spending, no offense, man, I don't think you need to spend $250 million making a Batman film. Like, I don't, you know.
For the most part, I don't think you need to either. I did like the Batman trailer though. I did think it
was a good trailer. I wish it was set
fun.
in the 30s. Like it was like, out of all that stuff from the trailer, Penguin was like the one acting the most, right? The Colin Farrell Penguin. But I'm
Yeah.
like, it's very Dick Tracy. I'm like, wouldn't it have been cool if this shit was set in the 30s and that was like that retro 30 Batmobile with the big hood going through the fire and like, like it would just be cool to see because even his cowl's very 30s ish.
I'm gonna say though that is no '89 Batmobile, but I probably like it second right now. That's probably I think because remember in the '80s when you had like that bat, I don't know what you called that Batmobile. It was like the Bat car. It was before the Tim Burton one had led to like a redesign
The one from
of
Adam
it.
West, the
No,
Batmobile.
no, the in the comic books in the '80s,
Oh
like
yeah,
that
where it
that
was just like sometimes it was like a Corvette Stingray,
it
and
was yeah,
sometimes it was like
it was
just
like
a
a
car with. Yeah.
yeah, and like this one right here, I felt like kind of like a cool version of that to me, just to an extent. I mean, I was like, yeah, it feels like that.
It's
So
the car from the year one script that Aronofsky was doing with Frank Miller with Joaquin Phoenix when Joaquin Phoenix was going to play Batman.
mhm.
So he's going to play Batman, and he was raised by Alfred and Alfred's dad in this like junk shop, and it was a crazy fucking reboot.
Yeah.
And he'd used to get in fights all the time, so his teeth were actually knocked out. So when he was Batman, he put in like fake fangs and shit, and like hiss at
This is
people.
the Batman who can suck your D. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the running. Even when I read it, but he had this muscle car. It
Mhm.
was like literally like a muscle car, and they eventually put like a fucking engine in it. And when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's the car. So that was probably the car was probably the coolest part of the thing, but of the script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
I
mean,
I don't like CGI car races.
yeah.
Like when you saw Batman versus Superman and like the Batmobile is a CGI. I mean, it literally looked like they just turned on Arkham City and like
Mhm.
recorded
Yeah,
footage.
well,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work because we've seen like when it comes to like actual like car chases, we've seen that push to crazy extents in reality, where like
Right.
cars are just doing insane things. And so when you take that and then you make it fake, it's just a bit of a boring visual usually. But yeah,
It doesn't have the weight.
I
It doesn't
I
have the
I,
weight.
I am looking forward to the next Batman though, because I'm gonna get to see that one with my son, and I've never got to like take him to really see a Batman movie. Um,
No.
and
That's cool.
it feels like it's actually like kind of like a real Batman movie.
That's
That
right. Your kids
Batman,
were born way after.
yeah,
Like,
they had a whole
wow.
Star Wars trilogy. They had a whole Star Wars trilogy, as you
It
pointed
is
out.
ridiculous. It's a man who dresses up as a bat and punches people. Like, this is not fucking rocket science. I don't know, man. Like, it's just odd to me, it's so odd to me, dude, I think, when they think Star Wars should win an Oscar, it should just be a great Star Wars film. I feel like it's the
Mhm.
same thing with Batman.
Yeah, yeah,
So looking
and
forward
I
to
was,
it, but look forward to that, and then that's it. Like just be patient because it ain't coming anytime soon. The sequels.
and is this almost all the same people who worked on Planet of the Apes?
Greg
Is that
Fraser, I don't think was the DP on Planet of the Apes.
okay?
I have to go look,
Okay,
but Greg Fraser, he did the DP on Rogue One.
yeah,
Rogue One looks
yeah,
fantastic. So
yeah.
everyone
No,
looks
no,
amazing. I'm like
'cause-
Greg Fraser is fucking amazing.
no. I
He
think
did that
those.
episode of Mando with when he's in the warehouse in the first
Mhm,
season with the
mhm.
flamethrowers and all that. Yeah, that shit was fucking dope.
Yeah, no, because I love those new Planet of the Apes movies. I think
Yeah,
they're like really really well done. They're not necessarily fun for the whole family necessarily, but they are really 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 well done. And so that bat that universe making Batman, so to speak, I'm up for it. I'd be down for it.
and Greg did Dune, so that's why people are like looks fantastic. I'm like it's Greg Fraser, so
Yeah.
it does look great. I just fucking can't watch it. It's so slow.
Yeah, yeah. God,
Slow.
it's weird. Like I'm not saying I don't like Dune yet. I'm not saying I don't, but I tried to watch it one time and I could not get through it. I got
It
really bored during
it's
it.
nowhere near the Green Knight, and I'm being
Mm.
1,000% honest, like, and not even like in a jokey way. Like the Green Knight is way better experience. There's something about science fiction novels, when they try to just do them it's one of two things. They need the narration, or like in the original Dune, or they go this route where there's nothing. And then you're like, am I just supposed to stare at this for like 7
Yeah.
minutes? Like what am I supposed to get? It's like the Harry Potter movies. You really have to read the books to kind of know what the fuck is going on.
Mhm.
Otherwise you're just getting this kind of like weird jumble fuck of kids running around everywhere.
Of
and shit
of
happening.
of whimsy.
Yeah. It's the same deal. It's one of those things where if this were, a 5-season fucking show on HBO, I think it would make way more sense. But as one-off film that's going to occur every 4 years on IMAX that is moving slowly, I don't know, man. If that's your cup of tea, dude.
Well, we'll see.
I
What
guess.
I was hoping is that maybe the first Dune is getting rid of all the exposition and shit out of the way, and maybe the other one's book. Like maybe they're really, really, really good, And I'll go back to David's thing in 1 second. And like Rick, Dune was done very well, but I've read all the books. See, I've read Dune. I've read Dune twice, and I will say I like the book, and it to me feels very much like an experience for reading. I've never been completely sold on the concept that you can take Dune to the screen and it's going to be better for it. And and I liked the 2000 Sci-Fi Network version of it for what it was. You know what I mean? Like being fair. This was done on Sci-Fi Channel in the year
Look,
2000, and it did
if
a
that
good job for
with
what it was.
Ewan was in that.
But Ewan McGregor wasn't in it.
Wasn't he? I
No,
thought he
fuck
was.
no.
I thought I
No.
remember. Okay, anyways.
No.
Um,
But yeah. This new one is that with a really nice production. And I don't know. I don't know if I care.
yeah, I think that Dune series though, had that been wrapped around like if it were like the cutscenes for like a Command and Conquer type strategy game, like a Dune sequel. There was a Dune strategy game that kind of led to Warcraft. Right? It
Yeah.
was like they kind of made like I can't remember if they made it or if they were basing it, Dune, but they had made a follow up to that with these live action cutscenes. It would have been one of the games you remember from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
Just it was on
David says,
Sci-Fi Channel.
what about Lamb? Heard it's the most A24 film A24 has done. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one a lot. That one just looks like a trip, And it's just like this I'm not sure if the couple in the story have either had pregnancy loss or if they are having trouble conceiving, but then this lamb has they have a little lamb baby that is born to their flock or whatever, and but it's like a mythical monster, and but it's a cute little baby right now, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one because I think I'm not going to say I love everything that they do, but boy, do I respect everything that company does, And I don't know if we're seeing the golden age of A24 or if we're seeing like the start of like an amazing, like, you know what I mean? Like run of films, but I hope it's the start of something because it feels good.
Well, I said, man, that thing they did with the Green Knight, where you could watch it for one night, and they had a whole intro and outro with the actor from who played the Green Knight, and at the
Yeah.
end he read the Tolkien poem. Like,
Is it Dev
that-
Patel? Is that his name? Dev Patel?
no, Dev Patel. I mean, the actual leafy Green Knight, the fucking
Oh,
Whatever.
that
But yeah.
guy.
yeah, that guy. The Scottish or Irish, I can't remember. They're gonna fuck you, Rob. I don't fucking know. Do you know the difference between Californians and fucking Floridans? No, you don't.
I just know that they like potatoes.
I know. That's where I'm at, Boise. So,
And you like potatoes. We have like
yeah, I do.
common ground.
But by the way, it's Alec Newman who was in the Dune series. But I always thought he kind of looked like Ewan McGregor back in
Okay.
2001, so that's why. So but the way they did that format where kind of like you pay for the film and then they lead up to it, they kind of talk. It's almost like what do they call that when they play fucking music before a film? Like they did it with the Star Trek the motion picture, and they used to do like what's that thing where they just play music in the theater? I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
that is what.
Like the like the coming attraction stuff before?
No, sometimes with long films like Doctor Chicago and the Star Trek, the original motion picture, and the long version of Hateful Eight, when you went to the theater before you got in, there'd be like space, like actually they shoot little space. It'd be space plane, and they would play the music like a suite from the film before it
Oh,
would start.
okay.
And it sort of
The
sets the tone.
Overture?
Overture, thank you, the overture. This was like an overture in a way, and that kind of format for films, like if you the ones that you buy and watch at home, that to me is like something you can't get at the theater. They're never going to do that at the theater.
Yeah.
You know, it's better than like when I paid for Black Widow, it just started to watch it. But
Right.
but making something more of a presentation for the home experience, right? That you can't get it. That's even, I don't know, man. Like I really thought that was fucking cool. So
David said, "There's a big difference, Rob. Crazy on bath salts and chill on the hippie lettuce." I don't know why you said it, but it makes me laugh.
let's just say that quote.
Let's just leave it. Let's just
What
leave
is
it alone.
Hippie lettuce. Now
I
every
call
time
it-
I look at lettuce, I'm like, is this the conservative or is this the hippie?
It's the devil's lettuce.
One of these is Walter, one of these is the dude. I
Yeah.
don't know which one. You know?
And the Green Knight is Uncle Owen, right? The guy in the tree costume is the same actor, right? It is.
Oh no, it isn't. That's a
It's not
different
him?
actor. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
actor who did the that did the narration.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Different actor.
Geek Furious says that Iceland still does that in some theaters and in intermission. I saw Rogue One in Reykjavik, and as soon as it hit the halfway point, they were like, bathroom break in the middle of dialogue. Fuck, I love that. That is
middle of dialogue. Okay,
yes,
you can't,
yes. You know what?
That's weird.
PP
when she says something like
PP comes
we
in the middle of dialogue. It don't care.
when she says something like "What we need is hope," that's a place you fade out and take a break, which I do prefer, because then you don't have some asshole getting up in front of you in the middle of the fucking film, right? We all know the bathroom break's coming.
True.
You know, it'd be nice if the lights slowly start to come on, so you kind of know it's coming.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like I in this day and age, even before Pandy, like you have to like pay a lot of money to get that kind of experience, because most theaters, they sort of treat them like arcades. You drop your fucking friends off and you see your film, you act like an asshole and you leave.
It would be nice though if you know, when you have that little like 15-minute break, you could go over to that person and go, listen to me, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna grab you and your girlfriend by the hair. I'm gonna drag
You want
you
the
out
hippie
into
lettuce or you want
and-
the other thing?
yeah, and I'm not even fucking kidding. I will light fucking matches under your fingernails or something like that. You know what I mean? You could just say something like that if you needed to, you know. But
All right, Shia. Shia, whatever it's
Shia. Yeah, man. What? I bet you that's why they had to delay it for a year. They're like, LaBeouf, when did you back? And
I
he's
like
just
how he tells the guy who was a tanker in the army he's a hippie. All right, I'm a hippie now. You see my very hippie-like haircut.
smoke. It's the devil's lettuce.
I'm literally in a fucking capitalist mansion right now.
Dave says, go all Dave Chappelle and kick him in the pussy. Geek Fairy says, one thing I noticed in Iceland was that during intermission, people went to buy more popcorn. You think American theater chains would milk that? God, I wonder, you know what I could see happening if that happened? Mid-movie tweets becoming a thing. Oh, what are the mid-movie tweets saying about the new Batman movie?
I hate you.
Oh my God, they hate
They're
it.
gonna do it now.
Oh, they're gonna do it
now. It'll be some game they play on the fucking screen. Tweet your friends, tell them what you thought. You know.
Oh shit. And the tweet of the night goes to Rob in
Fandango
Boise.
chooses. Yeah. Yeah, I can see now them trying to filter that out and do it in real time. You know.
It got David says popcorn refills in the States are free. Yeah, because the popcorn is fucking old, stale dog shit that they refill it with. Like they have like I've noticed that they have like 2 popcorn machines, and when you buy one, they give you the popcorn from this one, and then they refill from this one, and then I think they just make fresh here, give the new ones there, and then so they're continuing just giving you the trash. But
It's
but
not
also
good for my heart. But
yeah, I don't like
when
it.
movie theaters, but when movie theaters added the you can get your own butter fucking thing, I was like, well, at least they can make this shitty fucking old ass.
Yeah.
Because I used to call it a bag of popcorn. Remember when you were like in grade school? There'd be like a giant trash bag of popcorn would come in and like, oh, it's movie day. Like everyone would get some in a cup. Like they put the bag popcorn in the refill.
I won
Station.
I won student council president in I think it was 3rd grade. And how I did it was I had a Game Boy and nobody had one. I got the Game Boy like the very first day, and I would let people play it. I let people play a game of Mario, I think it's Mario World, for a quarter. And I got I had a pocket full of quarters. Then the teacher was like, you should run. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do it. Like this wasn't like a long thing or whatever, but it happened to be popcorn day. So I had all these quarters and it was 25 cents for a bag of popcorn. And I was just like, if you vote for me, I'll give you a bag of popcorn. I literally bought the vote. I bought the vote.
You learn how to game the system.
I did.
You know?
Yeah. It was.
But what responsibilities were you left with? Nothing.
No. And I just remember like going to the meetings and then being like, here's what we're going to do. You guys want to do this, right? And we're like, okay. We had no idea how to do anything. It was all a big waste of time. But anyways, yeah. Iceland gives nothing away for free. You pay double and you like it. Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I actually like at movies is the refill on the soda. And I like when they have those ones where you can like make your own stupid ones where I could get like Coke Zero with vanilla and
Yeah, I like
cherry.
those machines.
Like I like
Someone
those.
was shitting on them on Twitter this weekend.
Oh, they're fucking high. They're on the devil's
Diet
lettuce.
Coke was trending. I'm like, does this have to do with the orange turd? Because and then it was the picture of those machines, and these are the worst thing that ever happened in theaters. I'm like, what are you talking? You know how long you have to wait for that poor person at the fucking cash register to make someone's fucking soda? Now they just give you a cup, and you can go get your own fucking sodas.
Do it
and there's
yourself.
fucking 9 of those. Yeah, I don't agree with that. That's the best thing that's happened at theaters in a long time.
But what I like too is that you could get like Coke Zero, so you're not getting like that much calories when you add the stupid filler to it. And then I don't have to eat I don't feel the need to have like a tub of popcorn. I just drink a lot and have to pee, and that's why I really want that Reykjavik intermission, if I'm saying it right. Is it Reykjavik? Is that how you say it?
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah,
So
you probably call it like Ray Parker Jr. of Vic or something.
yeah. Huey Lewis got Susan Vic. But if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I remember once holding the pee. It might have been for The Dark Knight. I got to a point where I was like, I'm going to fucking kill myself, or I gotta miss some of this movie. I gotta miss some of this movie. And it wasn't until a certain actor appeared on screen, I'm like, I can leave now because there's nothing they're gonna do. I'm gonna fucking
Yeah.
Like I don't see an actor too often that makes me want to stay, but I know I'll see an actor. I'm like, I can leave for this. I can get out. But I always try to never get the middle seats because I don't like crossing over people.
So it's close, except the Vic and Rika. Vic is pronounced like Veek, like weak, but with the V. So Reykjavik. You know what? You sound weak, bud. You sound weak right now, bro. Sorry.
You sound like you got no legitimate Star Wars topics. You're just dragging the whole fucking show out.
You know what? We did it. So Reykjavik. Because it that is one of those places too that every single time they start scouting for Star Wars locations, it's in there all of the time. But yeah. So and then I will probably forget and be like, "Hey, Geek Furious, how do I say that again?" But you should come hang out with us again pretty soon, Geek. We haven't seen you in a while. Would mind being told how to say things correctly in person. But yeah. So we had a good Batman podcast, and we Yeah, I
You
mean
didn't like
Indiana
the
Jones.
trailer, you suck. I like the trailer. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean I liked it too. I didn't feel like the need to tweet about it. You know what I mean, or something like that. Like it didn't really
Right.
like get me there. But I actually kind of take pride in that after obsessing about Star Wars and covering Star Wars and stuff. When I'm just able to go enjoy Planet of the Apes movies or something like that, I'm like, this is good. This is the right way to be.
It's weird
This
for
is
me
healthy.
because as much as I love Star Wars, I was that age when Batman 89 came out. Like I was at 10 or 11.
Yeah,
The age that all the Star Wars fans were 10 or 11 when it came out. You understand it was 10 or 11. I'm like, I get it. I get that age and what when you see the thing you've always wanted to see and how it has an effect on you. So I should be one of those, but I guess I've been through some shitty Batman films and some not so great ones,
yeah,
and some great ones. But at this point, I'm like, it's gonna come out. I'm different than you on this.
Mhm.
I believe there should be a lot more about Batman content, like in terms of this universe, and it bums me that I'm like, I'm gonna be a fucking 47 when they finally follow like Catwoman finally gets a costume. Like I don't know, man. Like it's hard for me to get excited about that.
yeah,
That's what I'm just trying to say. Like it's like hey, you're okay. They did say something in this promo I thought was hilarious. They're like, you've never seen a Batman grounded before, like in reality. I'm like, are we doing this again? Like we've never
yeah.
seen this. Then
We never,
it's
we
like
never.
you
I
never
think we
seen
have.
Star Wars. You never seen Star Wars like it's like where there's a family and they get and there's a conflict and there's a big Death Star and I don't know. Like it's funny watching the corporate machine try to sell an idea. It's like weird.
Yeah, once again, my thing is don't really want to see, not really excited to see somebody becoming Catwoman. I want to see Catwoman. Like that's what I that's
Yeah.
what that's the one thing I hate George Lucas for, is becoming Darth Vader became such a thing that becoming became
But
everything,
why? If
and it's not.
everyone, so many people dislike that film, why was
Mhm.
that the thing they all decided to do?
Because they all thought they could do it better the whole
Is that
time.
it?
I think so. I think they thought this is a way to do it, and they had years of thinking that's how you should do it, and then they didn't like it, and then they're like, oh, this is how I would have done it, and then
You
now
make a good
it's the way
point.
they think.
So I'm listening to I listen to a podcast called The Cinephiles with Steve Morris and John Rogan, right? And they're
Mhm.
covering There Will Be Blood, and they brought on an extra guy who's this sound supervisor. I don't know, super fucking dude. He did the sound supervision on the Bee Gees documentary that Frank Marshall directed to kind of bring
Okay.
it back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're covering There Will Be Blood, and apparently they started filming, and Daniel Day-Lewis doesn't like watching dailies, right? But apparently Paul Thomas Anderson or PTA said you need to look at this, and so he came in, looked at his performance, and then Lewis goes, that's not good." So they went and reshot everything, and he reconfigured it, and that just sort of like it just reminded me of like that whole like they were saying that the point that Steve Morris made, who is a director, who said a movie isn't something that you have an idea, oh, it's going to be like this, and then we go shoot that and we get it. That's not how a movie gets made. You have a script, but when you bring artists on and artists bring different things to the table, it constantly is changing, and it becomes something else, and you have to see what you have. And I think Lucas may have been trying his hardest to avoid that. He wanted to, here's what it is, and then we're going to go get that, and that's what it is. He didn't like that ever flowing changing of when people bring things in, and it's not becoming the thing I wanted. Like, well,
Yeah.
like it's alchemical. It's not like a recipe. You can't recipe fucking movies. So it's just like, even if Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Thomas Anderson have to go back and change their fucking plans, any one of us can too. But I just thought that whole thing, like that whole thing of you can't just say this is, why don't you just write a script? We got a great script and we'll cast people and then we'll go fucking get the great movie. I don't understand what's so hard. Like that's not how it gets done at all.
Well, also like when you look at somebody when I imagine I'm George Lucas, like if I imagine I'm making a movie right now, and I think like, oh, well, what's good is based off of the imagined audience, and who are those people who you have in your head who are good. But when you're George Lucas, like, you fucking done it. Who's in your head at that point? Do you have anybody in your head at that point, or is it just
Jet.
you? Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And you, and like, and so I do think the Star Wars prequels were made to George Lucas's taste, and that's what exactly it is, 100%, and it's not mainstream.
When how do I say this? Like, I want to make sure I say this right. So
You're fucking retarded. No, we don't say that word.
Don't say that word. I had some doofus type that with an asterisk in my fucking chat the other day on a podcast. I'm like, you took the time to type that shit and then like asterisk it. Like, we know what you're saying. Like, just don't. You come up with any other word, bro.
It's a perspective, not me. In case you're too dumb to have subtlety on Twitter. But yeah.
Well, you know, when I make things at this point, I definitely think as an artist, you want to make something that you would want to make or play or watch. When you try to make things, okay, how do I say it? So like, I got this Power Rangers commission I got to do. When I say commission, it's a big piece. It's for a friend and he paid, but whatever. But when I say I'm going to draw Power Rangers, which is not my thing, but whatever, I have to find a way into it to where I'm like, this is something I'd want to see. Like, I want it for someone who doesn't give a shit about this, right? That's not my thing. There's always something fun and everything, but it took me a while to figure out how I would come at it and create something that I would go, oh, that's cool. I'm not into it, but that looks dope. I'd pick that up.
They're all the same color now. They're all the same color now.
Fans what they like to see, they just start naming off characters and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this. It's like one of every fucking thing they ever remember. That is not how you make, like, putting one of every fucking thing of Star Wars you've ever liked about Star Wars into a Star Wars movie will not make it the best Star Wars movie.
But what if a battle during a stormtrooper and a clone trooper were all living in the same house and they had to like make ends meet together?
If the right person who really wanted to make that story or like wanted to fucking see it, then yeah, it would be great. But if you're just doing it to cover all the bases, that doesn't work either. So I support Lucas in that way. Yeah. It's a bummer when you see that when I know if I'm working on a game, that game is dependent on 6 different systems all working: sound, game design, graphics, code, just basic fucking bugging. And when those things aren't working, it's alchemical. You have to get them all to work together. Just saying, I'm going to fucking make this thing straight through and just make it the way I designed it doesn't make a fun game. And I just feel like he was hitting that point where he just didn't want the fight. As people go, oh, you don't want the yes man. I don't think he wanted the fight. He just wanted to see it through, as easy as possible for some reason.
Wanted to create and not have to answer to people along the way.
I think the cartoon solves that because of the volume of stuff. See, in the volume of work, everyone doesn't have to be so fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you don't have to have the greatest chapter in a book. Yeah. The whole book speaks for the book itself. And movies are like getting this individual chapter. And because so much expectation comes on that chapter, it better be the freaking greatest fucking chapter every fucking time. And it can't. Some of them have to be like resolution. There's a thing called scene and sequel. Things in certain book chapters are called scenes. That's where shit happens. And the sequels, how you deal with what happened, and it sets up what happens next. Scene and sequel, scene and sequel. Mm-hmm. And, that's where you get Rian Johnson, who makes a movie that is a sequel and a scene and a sequel. But you can only sequelize that. You can't. It doesn't set up another film. It actually can. It's a weird. I'm always fascinated by how these decisions are made. Right? I don't know if that's the word. How these decisions, and if they are aware of them. Is Lucas aware when he does that, or is he just human? He's just going forward.
He says he was aware that making Anakin an 8-year-old was not what everybody wanted because everybody let him know as he was doing it. It wasn't like what? Something like that. No, he Yeah, he knew it was very left field the whole entire time. Because I mean, my take on art and making music and all that kind of stuff is to be your own biggest fan. You know, is the
Yeah.
perspective to have, and I think that's what he kind of did. Um, but as we know, it's Star Wars is much bigger than that. It's much bigger than George Lucas's idea of it. Unfortunately for
Right.
him.
Because yeah, I mean, let's be honest. If you take away all of his influences, what are you left with, right? Like, what is the sole thing without the influences? What is the sole thing the creator's bringing? To me, it's the will to get it done.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what he's always brought is the will to manifest this thing that no one else got because he's taken all these different influences he's ever had and mashing them together, right? In a way, I'm not shitting on that in any
Yeah.
way. I'm saying that that is a legitimate art form to do. But a lot of people don't have the ability to see that through, or they have no vision to see it through, right? In a way, so.
The dude from the Beastie Boys jumped on stage at I think it was the MTV Music Video Awards dressed in like lederhosen and jumped up and said, "I had all of the original ideas for Star Wars." It was pretty good. It was essentially what Kanye did later on with Taylor Swift, but way better. If I remember right.
There's a fantastic. It's so good. It should be in the film. There's a fantastic mashup of Beastie Boys and the Ghostbusters.
Oh right.
Right. It is so fucking good that I'm like, this actually should be in a movie. Like, and all those mashups are fun to watch or not, but they've meshed so well. Intergalactic was it? It was Intergalactic Planetary and
yeah.
and the Ghostbusters.
Are we gonna get a good Ghostbusters soundtrack for this new Ghostbusters movie? Because I
What's
honestly
the
feel like
last soundtrack you really thought was a good soundtrack from a major theatrical film? Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though is like
Drive for
like
me might have been it. Like
I don't know. I actually probably haven't given a shit about a movie soundtrack in years, but Ghostbusters, the pop music soundtrack is very important to it. And regardless of how of the other Ghostbusters movie, that's like not really worth talking about. That one right there, if it was going to have tried to do anything to even keep the frame of the original one, that would have been to have some good music playing, and it might have actually gone a long way in certain moments of that movie. But just like a creepy, James Horner or whatever sounding score is only going to do so much to get that Ghostbusters
well, it'd be
vibe
really
back.
creepy since he's dead, but like
Yeah, yeah.
they brought him back like the
Who did the
Skolarsky brothers.
Ghostbusters music?
Was it Bernard Herrmann?
Was Burn? Okay.
Let me see.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like that. I mean that little riff or whatever leitmotif is
Elmer Bernstein, sorry.
Elmer Bernstein. It's rad, but at the same time, I might have a ghost today because my door just keeps opening and closing by itself. It's actually kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't really know why because my blinds aren't blowing because my windows are closed. But
Well, I mean,
creepy.
like the last soundtrack they did for the 2016 film, you know what I mean, was like, like it was like Dead Mouse shit. You know what I mean? There's like remixes of things, and so I don't know, man.
They should get that one band. Was it
Weezer.
Die Antwood? Those fucking dudes. Those people are crazy. I want them to do. Yeah, they. Guar. Does Guar even? Is Guar still doing their like thing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just remember Guar from Beavis and Butthead. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not a
but
big-
once again, I mean, like fun soundtracks need to come back. I mean, obviously, like today they probably can't do it because it's so easy to distribute music. It'd be like, oh yeah, the Ghostbusters soundtrack. It's 13 volumes long. With none of the songs are in the movie. They just kind of like are like part of the Ghostbusters world as we see.
We just went on SoundCloud and typed in Ghostbusters
Yeah.
and then got all the music, whatever pops up.
Yeah, but I mean, the original Ray Parker Jr., the Bobby Brown song, the Run DMC
That was
song.
Ghostbusters too.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
but I'm saying though, like for
Air
Ghostbusters,
Supply was on the original Ghostbusters. My mom had the pop album, and
Mhm.
it bugged me because I wanted the theatrical score,
Yeah.
So I was like, I like the Ray Parker, but then it should go into the, what is all this? Why is Laura Branigan singing?
Yeah.
What does this have to do with Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
You know, like, it was so confusing to me.
What's the song that plays like when all of like the spectral like ghosts are flying around the city? Like it's magic. It's
Oh,
magic.
breathe. It's magic. It's magic.
Magic.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah, yeah.
What the
That's
fuck
not
is
on
that?
the soundtrack. That wasn't on the soundtrack.
And it should be because it's badass. It's magic.
Yeah.
It's magic. It's like
That's
ASMR
the tough thing. Like
music.
Like when you try to look up the soundtrack for Big Lebowski, all the songs aren't on there for licensing, so you have to get the fan compilations to get the actual fucking thing. It's ridiculous.
I like that's like Ray Parker Jr. did the Ghostbusters music. I meant like
the whole thing.
You know, I mean,
remember the Key and Peele sketch? I'm Ray Parker Jr.
I still, yeah.
all my other music, all the other hits from movies that were rejected by Hollywood.
Did they steal from Huey Lewis, or did Huey Lewis steal from them?
Well, it wasn't just they stole from Huey Lewis. They tried to get I Need a New Drug from Huey Lewis, and he turned them down.
Okay.
And I want a new drug. And then when they turned him down, then they hired Ray Parker and made that, and Huey Lewis won.
Yeah.
In the theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, the court. Yeah.
Ghostbusters song is better. It is better.
It is. It is. But there is a great mashup of I Want a New Drug and the Ghostbusters thing. Like,
yeah. I just couldn't remember who stole from who or whatever.
Okay, you want to make things right? Put Huey Lewis as the fucking theme song for the new Ghostbusters. Bring him back. Give him Ray Parker Jr. Get Ray Parker. Yeah. Put him together. Yeah.
Give him do this. Get the surviving members of Run DMC. Bobby Brown. He's
just got the C or the M.
And Bobby Brown has the drugs.
Oh no.
He could bring the drugs. Oh, no. Get Huey back on the coke again, so he's good.
It's the one thing Mad TV got right was the Bobby Brown.
Yeah, Bobby Brown's pretty on.
So sad to watch, but it was happening, you know, like in real time.
But imagine like they make a new Ghostbusters song, and at the end you see the ghost of Whitney Houston.
Oh no, no,
and Bobby Christina. And Bobby Christina. It's like the end of Rise of Skywalker. It's like the end of Rise of Skywalker where Luke and Leia show up.
I get it. It's you've tied it back. You brought it back. I don't think Paul Rudd's gonna approve of that.
Oh fuck Paul Rudd. He's not in this.
We all wish we could.
Yeah, he's not in it. You know what? He could okay, for Paul Rudd, we'll put in what's her name from Clueless?
Batgirl?
No, the girl from Clueless who died. The really cute one. Who was like supposed to be ugly.
Not Cillian Murphy.
Brittany Murphy. Brittany Murphy could show up and she could look at Paul Rudd.
Yeah, she was the one everyone wanted to play Harley Quinn before she passed.
Fuck Paul Rudd, double canceled. Hey, if Paul Rudd stands in the way of this rock and roll fucking party that's going to remake a new Ghostbusters soundtrack that I'm producing, then fuck Paul Rudd. If Paul Rudd wants to get his ass down here, and if he wants to be in the video like Chevy Chase was for the original Ghostbusters, that's cool. You can do that.
Sex Panther. Come on.
Sex Panther, yeah.
Come on. Sex Panther's great.
Sex Panther is great. I like Paul Rudd. He just better stand in my fucking way. All right.
So he's your Dennis Lawson.
Yeah. I mean, I love the guy. He seems to be a great guy, but stand in my fucking way.
We should get is Primus still making music? Because My Name is Rudd would be a great follow-up.
so I like how Jason is angry at fictional rejection. Yeah, I won't have it,
bro. That's the whole point of being a Star Wars fan, is being angry at fictional rejection. The whole universe collapsed because of fictional rejection.
Yeah, dude, that would be great. You could have one guy from Crisscross jumping with the ghost of the other guy from Crisscross who's not with us anymore. You could just be like,
and Milli Vanilli can cover it. The ghosts, yeah. Well, that's the great thing with ghosts. Anyone can come back.
Yeah, they're
surrounded by bees.
We could redeem Milli Vanilli by they get possessed, and the people singing is the real people who do Blame It on the Rain. Right? Possession. Come on, it's genius. We could do so much. Yeah, we could do possession. That's great.
Why do those stupid quotes stay in my head and I can't remember my wife's birthday? Like, why?
So David has it right, but he's all Stacey Dash. No, I think
Close.
Stacey Dash
No,
is
not anywhere near.
Stacey Dash like denying COVID's a thing or something right now.
She's trying to claim she's taking the classic conservative route. It's the opiates. That's their big thing now.
Oh,
They're like, it's the opiates.
yeah.
It's not my fault. It was the drugs. Like, all right, so stop criminalizing drugs. Whatever.
There's like a documentary that my HBO thing keeps like something's like what happened to Brittany Murphy, and I'm like, didn't she like, yeah, didn't she get like some like weird like mold or something and it killed her? But I want to watch it because man, Brittany Murphy was hot.
8 Mile,
David's
Sin City.
Paul needs to hurry up with that Mac and Me reboot. Yeah. Mac and is that really a thing?
Mold
or
is no
joking?
joke, though. Hold on, mold's no joke. So I
Sure.
have a friend, one of my closest friends, was diagnosed. I want to say the year, around 2016, 2017, with this thing called Wagner's disease. I was like Wagner. He didn't like the joke.
Yeah.
And it's just weird autoimmune disease that he was a super thin guy. He's blown up. He can't, his memory and motor skills are all, he's had to be in and out of hospitals with respiratory issues. Before COVID, it was my first experience with the weirdest fucking autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
And when he moved to this apartment in Mira Mesa around 2014, right?
Mhm.
And I went there once and I was like, something smells fucking weird in here. And he's like, what is it? It smells like feet or some shit. Cause I don't like the smell of feet, bro.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. We had this water problem in our fucking kitchen. And it's like, there's a mold thing, but they're fixing it. I'm like, okay, I can't be in this fucking place. And my advice to you is get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And they didn't get out of there. And I was like, did the mold cause this? So when, in 2019, our refrigerator has this ice machine and it decided to just spit out water one fucking morning. And we caught it early, but it ruined the floorboard. So they had to be removed. So we bring in these water guys to come and fucking dry the whole thing out to keep mold from growing. And I said, hey, since I got a mold expert here, right? And this is not just some fucking schmo plumber, right? This is a dude who's like super fucking into it.
This is like Agent Mulder.
He's like Mulder. Oh, fucking
right?
dude. Agent Mulder. That's so good. Yeah. That should be in a Bug's Life thing. So
that should be his business name.
He's like the John Goodman of mold. So arachnophobia. But I asked him, I'm like, can mold cause these autoimmune diseases? He was like 1,000%. And I'm like, mold's no fucking joke.
But he said 1,000%. That's like the same as 100, so he might not be that.
He watched a lot of Joe Rogan, so
okay.
It's 1,000%. Okay. But no, I'm condensing these conversations down to podcast.
I'm kidding.
All right, not just talking to you, Jason. I'm talking to everyone. Pulled the wards. So,
from the internet, Murphy died of pneumonia with contributing factors of iron deficiency, anemia, and multiple drug intoxication. That's my girl. All right. Anyways, yeah. So,
but her husband died a year later of anemia, and it was like the same thing. That's why it's weird. Like, why did they die? Look, mold. If it is mold, right, or mold hasn't, you just got to understand it's not just a fuzzy thing that looks funny that grows on your food. Like, there are a lot of weird things that can be caused by spores and shit like that. So I understand why home dudes freak when you're like, you can't have mold in your house.
Yeah,
you can't have
for sure.
It,
Yeah. Mold is serious, and I'm glad that we have done this PSA today, so that everybody, all 20 of you, know
spores, molds, and fungus.
Spores, molds, and fungus. And if you ever have a slinky, and did you straighten it? If you did,
want to drill a hole in your head? Tune in next time. When I stop Jason, you have kids, man. That's why I'm doing it.
Doing it for them, man. I'm doing it for them.
For Star Wars Santa. I'm gonna find the prize inside.
All right. Well, I guess we will call this a show. I honestly didn't think we were going to be able to do a half hour today, but we did an hour 45, and that is the magic of us being jackasses.
Of hippie lettuce. It just goes.
Yeah. Hippie lettuce, the devil's lettuce. Um,
I'm gonna wear a head of lettuce on the next UFO show. Just see if you
and
remember.
I gotta say, you guys, I can't talk about shit right now, which is what sucks. But man, do I got shit lined up for the future. Not just saying this because it was a weird day. Like it's what makes it an extra weird day for me is what I got in here and what I got coming in here, and then the Star Wars stuff. No, anyways, that was all Star Wars stuff. But then today having to be like, well,
Speaking of boners, whoop.
oh no, it's a spectral boner.
Oh, he's got all the goods. Whoa! I say that for the end, for the people who made it this far.
Anybody need their temperature taken?
Because this news is hot.
This news is hot. I think you got a fever, boys. But
I got a fever for more cowbell. I don't know. I actually like the googly eyes better now. You ever see the googly eyes?
yeah,
They walk in with I got more googly eyes on my plants. Like I fucking love the googly eyes, man.
I like to put the googly eyes on the VR headsets. It just makes it always funnier.
It is the best. And Venom.
And Venom.
Yeah, someone put googly eyes on him in a clip. It was hilarious. Like, I could watch a whole movie of that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks to everyone who supports the channel. David says I'm the Joe Rogan of Star Wars podcasting. I want everybody to put you know what? Shit out your intestines. I don't care. I'm doing it. We're all doing
butter
it.
Coffee. Just drink a lot of butter every day. That'll be good for you.
Yeah, without the $140 million contract, that sounds right. I was on
sleep
Spotify
in a deprivation chamber. You know,
I got like 25 songs on Spotify. I think that's where about where it ends.
Man, your Tinder profile is hot.
Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna make a Star Wars show about this. But
100%.
But yeah,
100%.
Make sure you support the channel if you want to, and I appreciate it. And we will see you guys tomorrow with Star Wars news and all of that stuff. If we offended you today, fuck your mother in the mouth. And that's
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.
This hippie lettuce is scratching my back.
It really